Well, hello, darlings. It's Miss Tia. I hope you're all doing well. Now, listen. This may take me some time to get through. I don't know how long this is going to take, so bear with me. It might take a little bit. But you know things are really, really bad when the highlight on these streets is BTM repeatedly singing the Lollipop Guild on Queen's panel. Like, for real. The dude, I guess it's like one of those times when you get a song stuck in your head. Well, he apparently had the Lollipop Guild stuck in his head, and he sang it over and over and over, and then he started putting his own lyrics to it. Listen, compared to everything else that's going on, that was a highlight, man. That was like a welcome relief. Let's just listen to BTM sing. And y'all know how Miss Tia feel about BTM. I do think he a little bitch. However, that tells you how crazy these streets are. Now, those of you who've been around Miss Tia very long, you know that one of my biggest things that I've always said is ain't nobody on these streets your friend. Quit making, quote, friends with these parasocial relationships, because you're going to get burned at some point. Now, Miss Tia can say that because I've been around for a long time, like a really long time. And have I been burned? You betcha, darling, I sure enough have. That's why I can tell you right now. Be careful the information that you share with people. Be careful, like things said in confidence. There ain't no such thing as confidence on these streets. Never. So, we're going to talk about that a little bit because there's been a situation that happened with the Fibbing Five. Instead of the Fab Five, it's the Fibbing Five. And who's in the Fibbing Five? Well, you got Queen Bee, you got J for Justice, you got Cluminati, you got Nonsense, and you got Granny Watching. Yeah, that makes up your Fibbing Five. And that's what I'm going to be focused on today when I'm talking. Now, I know other people have done stuff, and I know there's plenty of y'all out there could say, well, what about this one, and what about that one? Well, we're not going to talk about whataboutisms right now. We're going to talk about the explosion or the implosion of the Fibbing Five. And what led to all of that, just over the weekend. It was like, what the heck? What the heck happened? So, Miss Tia going to tell y'all this in a way that I understood it. Now, I'm not saying some of you may have seen different things than I've seen on these streets. Some of you may feel that things happen a different kind of way. And if that's the case, well, you can let Miss Tia know, or you can just think of it the way you remembered it to happen. But let's go. Okay, so we're going to start out with J for Justice. Okay, so Jay, I don't even know how she managed to get herself all worked up into this Fab, or not Fab Five, Lord have mercy, this Fibbing Five group in the first place. But she did. Well, Jay's been around a long time. Miss Tia's been around a long time. Miss Tia's seen lots of things. I know a little bit about Jay. Sure enough do. So was I surprised about all this? No, not really. So anyway, you got Jay, and apparently, at one time or another, Granny's Watching had confided in Jay some information that she had talked with Elevated Truth about, and it involved the Sebastian Rogers case, and it involved a horrible allegation regarding Katie, Sebastian's mom, and Sebastian. And it's not something that Miss Tia is going to repeat, but it's something that was horrible. Okay? And so Granny, that was confidential. I guess you should say that she told Jay that. Well, Jay has alt accounts. Accounts where, you can go and people don't know that who you are, and you can say whatever, and and then come back and be like, what the heck? Like, who said that? Like, you don't know. Well, Jay got her some alt accounts, okay? And she go into Elevated Truth chat, and she type in the comments about that allegation, about that theory, about Sebastian's mom, Katie. Well, now Granny know that was, what she had asked Jay to keep confidential. And Truth know that's what he talked to Granny about and asked her to keep confidential, except for one little part, because Truth, Elevated Truth got so angry about that. Like, he was just so mad. But the part he forgot to tell everybody is what he wanted Granny to keep confidential, he immediately went and told Illuminati. So, they both did the same thing. Pot called a kettle black, But anyway. So, it became known that Jay had these alt accounts. Well, also this alt account was named after Cam and Allie, which hadn't been on these streets in a long time and are having some really difficult issues. And why they need to be brought into this, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't defend them. I don't even know that much about them. I just know that they have some issues. And, like, why are you going to use their names as an alt account? That's, like, stupid. But for some reason, Illuminati thought the picture was of her ex. And so she thought Jay made an account with a picture of her ex. It wasn't. It was that Cam dude. But anyway, so that alt account, are y'all keeping up with me? That alt account, well, it says some things about Queen Bee. One of the, in a chat, from the Valo case, in one of those chats, Jay be using that alt account, and she go in and she make comments, I think. No, you know what? I don't think it was even that alt account. It was a different account. Maybe it was even her real account. But she made comments about Queen Bee, and she called Queen Bee a snake. Well, Queen Bee, then she confront her about that, and Jay say, no, she didn't do that. Well, that's one of the reasons they the Fibbing Five, because she was fibbing, she was lying right then and there. So that start a whole bunch of mess. And that start Illuminati thinking that, where in the world she got this, I don't know, but she think that Brittany J, and Jay for Justice are working together behind the scenes. And she thinks that's why Brittany didn't send Jay for Justice a cease and desist letter. Now, I don't know if that's true, but let me tell you, because, I've seen lots of crazy things on these streets. But y'all, really? So anyway, I don't believe that to be true, but would I be completely shocked if it was true? No, because crazy stuff happen on these streets all the dang time. So then Illuminati is mad at Jay for Justice because she feels like she's a fraud, she's a liar. How dare she bring up that allegation about Sebastian's mom and put that in Truth's chat. And so this starts the whole thing. We already got an issue now going on with the fab, or the fibbing. See, y'all, I keep saying fab, Lord have mercy. The Fibbing Five. Well, Queen Bee's already upset because she went and she confronted Jay, and she just asked her, like, Jay, did you call me a snake? And Jay said, oh, never. I would never do that. Well, yes, she did. And it came out that it was her. Matter of fact, she even admitted it was her. Lord help. And that's just a little bit. Because then, Granny's watching. Oh, man. So Granny, she apologized that she broke the confidence of Elevated Truth. And so she was like, woe is me. And everybody's like, oh, it's not your fault, Granny, and all this stuff. And so, she was, really calling Jay out for being, a hypocrite. She's, really talking about that. But the thing is, well, she talking about Jay, you know, being a hypocrite, supposed to be her friend, keep things confidential. You know, keep in mind, this group, they supposed to be friends, all of them. Well, what Granny failed to tell everybody is there's some information out there about where she be doing some talking about some people. And so, of course, as it always happens on these streets, here come the screenshots. Because somebody, somewhere, always going to have the receipts. And so, receipts got released showing that Granny, well, she was talking about Elevated Truth and calling him a fraud. And also, she had told one of her mods, because apparently she had some mods that done some little dirty work for her. Now, she always calling Brittany J out for this, always saying that Brittany got her mods doing dirty work for her. But it seemed like Granny doing the same thing, because she told one of her mods to take an alt account and to go in and start talking as much horrible stuff as they possibly could about Jonesin. And the one thing that she said to make sure that person talk about is an allegation against Jonesin's daddy. Listen. What her daddy got to do with anything? The allegation was like one of the worst allegations that a man could ever be accused of. And there's not an inch of truth in it. There's nothing in it that's true. It's some story that Laura Perplexed, whatever the hell her name is, came up with a long, long time ago and said, and she got called out for it, and all of a sudden, I guess, Granny, October of last year's, when these screenshots was from, she was behind the scenes, you know, giving instructions to her mods about, go say this about that one and this about that one. Well, the thing about Jonesin was to make sure that they talk about this allegation against Jonesin's dad. And it wasn't even stated as an allegation, y'all. It was stated as fact. It was like, say, you know, be sure you talk about Jonesin's dad being blank. Because I ain't putting that out there. I'm really upset that it even got brought back up on these streets, because it never should have been. But nevertheless, Granny gonna go there. You know, she out in front in the public, she's, you know, like to be all like nice, and she's the victim, and can you believe this one get this lawsuit against her, and like, why me, when she be sliming in the background. All right? So now we know we got Jay to do that in the background. And then now we know we got Granny doing that in the background. Well, Queen Bee, well, you know, she sees all that and she's like, you know, oh, well, she ain't doing nothing, right? Like, no, she been trashing people in the background forever, and everybody know that. I mean, that's the one thing that kind of surprised me to begin with this Fibbing Five, is that Queen was part of it. Because she played dirty in the background. It's been proven time and time again. I mean, those receipts been out there for a long time. But, you know, here she is. I guess she thought she needed to be friends with them, you know, because you keep your enemies close. Because it looked like that's what they've proven to be to each other. They not friends. So then she starts talking about the person that released the screenshots. And she's mad about that. Which, okay, I don't think that they should have been brought on the streets again either. I understand why they were. Because the person that did that want everybody to know these people are not who they proclaiming to y'all to be. They not. They show you one face, and then when they back behind the scenes, yeah, they even show each other different face. So, Queen decides that she is going to go after this person's children. And she says that. I mean, flat out. She says it. That's what she gonna do. Because she said this person had looked into information on her children or something. So she's telling you right now that she is going to go after this person's children. Which, like, that's the biggest no-no ever on these streets. Like, what is wrong with people? Well, B. Tim, you know, he up there. And he's like, no, we ain't doing that. And Queen tell him, oh, yes, I am. And then she talk about it a little bit more. And then she say she gonna do that. And then B. Tim is like, no. And she popped back at him. Well, he just got off the panel. Like, I thought, oh, Lord help, here come B. Tim. He gonna run away again. Because y'all know he went on a little hiatus not too long ago. And he was gone for a couple days. Well, he jumped down and I thought, well, there he go. He's gonna run. Yeah. Could I blame him? Nope. I probably ran too. But no, he come back, and when he came back, that's when he started singing the Lollipop Guild. It's crazy. These people crazy, y'all. I mean, anyway. Okay. And so then, Lord help, we got nonsense. Well, what nonsense doing in all this? Well, the nonsense, she playing like she's so confused, and she just hadn't had time to look into everything, so she don't know what's true. Well, I'm going to tell you what's true. Nonsense over there, and she waiting to see what the majority of people, what they going to say, which way they going to go, who they going to side with, and then she going to go with that side. Now, you might be thinking, Miss Tia, why you say that? How you know that? Well, I can tell you one way Miss Tia knows that is back at the beginning when nonsense came back over on these streets, she was talking all kinds of mess about Granny watching, about Cluminati, about Queen Bee. Like, she didn't like none of them. But then what? She started seeing they had lots of people in their chat. Like, the majority of people must have been okay with their behaviors, so she gonna get right in line with them. And she gonna become part of their group. And so they going to be the Fibbing Five. They always, like, present, like, they together, they work together, they, you know, send their chat. When they're done with their live, they send their chat over to the next person in their little group. And you know, they doing this, like, and they go on each other's panels, and they talk, and they giggle, and they talk about the stuff they be doing, you know, behind the scenes and talking on the phone. Like, they just all besties. Meanwhile, they going behind each other's backs, telling things about each other, telling things that they were sworn to secrecy about, and, you know, trying to undercut their friends. Like, even the business of, like, when one of them would go live, the other one would hurry up and go live. And then even Queen Bee, she used to have people go, and she probably still do this, into somebody else's chat to let everybody know that she just went live. So that the people from that chat will leave and come over to hers. That's the kind of stuff they was doing. But they friends, y'all. They just be bestest of friends. Now, listen, there was Julie Skolnick. Now, where does she fit in all this? Lord help poor little Julie. Y'all, poor little Julie. She just want to be included. Why can't somebody just include poor little Julie? But no, she just always ends up crying. Because she want to be their friend, and they just use her. That's why it's still the Fibbing Five. Because they ain't got no room for no sixth person. You know, it can't be the sleazy six. It's got to be the Fibbing Five. Yep, poor Julie. And see, with Julie, what they did was they would use Julie because they knew that Julie, she was having issue with Brittany J. And they all, the common thing all these people had was they didn't like Brittany J. And so it was, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. No, that never worked out. But anyway, that's basically like what they was doing. And so they would use Julie for things. But you could tell just watching them when Julie would be around that they didn't like her. I mean, like one time, I think, when her and her husband Al went up on Jay's panel and they was doing some kind of couples trivia night or something like that. Like, Julie was so excited about that. And, I think that, I guess, kind of went okay. But then other times, like, they get real, I don't know, like real short with her, like in the answer and stuff. Because let's face it, Julie will talk, and she will talk, and she will talk, and she will talk. I mean, I can't stay, like, I don't know why they would ever bring her in, like, and make her think she was one of their friends. I don't know why they did that in the first place, other than the fact to use her for some things, or, I don't know why. But nevertheless, poor little Julie, she, oh, Lord. So she been going live talking about them, and she's mainly focusing her anger and things, I guess, at Jay. I don't know. But yeah, it's all been a big old mess, and Cluminati over there, well, she convinced, that Brittany J and J for Justice had this all planned out from the very beginning. And y'all, come on with the aluminum hats. Get the tinfoil off your heads, people. Like, y'all don't need to add no more crazy. It's crazy enough around here. So stop it. Stop it, stop it. So yeah, that's the kind of mess been going on these streets. Like, and I know I miss stuff. I mean, no more could I get over to one person's side of the street that I was having to be run over to the other person's side of the street because they be saying stuff. People been staying up all night. Like, usually it just be Miss Tia. Maybe a few stragglers, but usually Miss Tia, cats like to roam at night. Usually it just be me, and I be roaming the streets at night, and most everybody else, they go to bed. Oh, no. They been up all night doing this stuff, talking this stuff. It's just been insanity. So, yeah. So, like, what the moral of the story? Hell, if I know. All I will tell y'all is when Miss Tia said, nobody on these streets is your friend, I'm telling you, you need to keep that mindset. Now, could there be exceptions? Absolutely, there could be exceptions because there are good people on these streets. But how do you know they're good people when you only ever see them on the internet? Because, like, these people in this little Fibbing Five group, they pretended, put up a good face. The only way we would know that something was going on is those of us that knew the past. And, usually the past is a good indicator of what the future going to be. So, we had some insight of this ain't going to last. However, other people that don't know, well, they thought, oh, they good people. They really my friend. They talk to me on the phone, give me their phone number. I got their phone number. We talk about our families. We talk about what we doing. We talk about our problems. Blah, 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 blah. They thought they was friends. All the whole time, every single one of them doing some crap in the background. Yep. I mean, even nonsense. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't see no screenshots where she be talking mess in the background, although she talk enough mess anyway. But just the fact of her sitting back waiting, like, what side she gonna pick or what she gonna think about all this mess. She waiting to see what the majority do. Well, if somebody really your friend, you're not gonna wait and see what other people gonna do. You're gonna stand by your friend. So I tell you what, I don't know. And then you got them saying, like Illuminati say, you know, like if she sees anybody over there, you know, buddying up with Jay and all that stuff, well, she done with them. So, I mean, they're pretty much making some lines in the sand, saying, you cross that line, you done. Because it's like, it's now that the Fab Five is split to us and them. And people going to have to make choices. I tell you what my choice would be. I'd walk away from every damn one of them. Because you sure enough can't trust them. So anyway, darlings, all right. I know this has been really long for Miss Tia, because I usually don't never go this long. But I just felt like I need to get as much of it out as I possibly could to kind of keep some of it in context a little bit. Because I'm telling you, this stuff's swirling around in my head like, wait, which one said what? It's hard to keep up with this stuff. And then, in my mind, I just keep hearing B. Tim singing, the lollipop guilt. Lord have mercy. Okay, darlings, Miss Tia's gonna go now. Please watch your backs. Watch what you say. Be careful on these streets. And I'll see you soon. Bye now.
Tia walks alone. Neon lights and pixel zones. Whiskers twitch. She's sniffing out the unknown. Every headline, every whisper in the dark. She's got a question. She's got that spark. Scrolling through the noise, she's got her eyes wide. Spotting all the fake, she won't let it slide. Sassy in a step with the tail that sways. Truth is a game and she's here to play. Tia the cat, prowling through the streams, calling out the lies, chasing honest dreams. Some love her fire, some can't stand her pride, but she's never backing down, she's got nothing to hide. Every comment, every rumor in the chat, she's gotta come back, you can't handle that. She's fierce, she's bold, she's got that glare. If you're hiding secrets, better beware. Tia the cat, prowling through the streams, calling out the lies, chasing honest dreams. Some love her fire, some can't stand her pride, but she's never backing down, she's got nothing to hide. She's not here for drama, just the honest truth. Kindness in her claws, justice in her youth. Opinions don't shake her, she's got her own way on these YouTube streets. She's here to stay. Tia the cat, prowling through the streams, calling out the lies, chasing honest dreams. Some love her fire, some can't stand her pride, but she's never backing down, she's got nothing to hide. So when the night falls and the rumors start to creep, Tia's on the prowl, keeping YouTube streets clean, with a sassy flair and a heart so true. Tia the cat, this song's for you.